We've heard from so many of you, our Business Inspires podcast listeners, that you're having a difficult time leaving a rating and review for the podcast in iTunes. So here's a painless way to do it. Go to www.pleasereviewmypodcast.com/Business Inspires for an easy step-by-step tutorial to follow. That's www.pleasereviewmypodcast.com/Business Inspires. Reviewing and rating our podcast in iTunes helps us in so many ways, but most importantly, we get your feedback on what you like about the podcast. Thanks for being a listener and subscriber and going to www.pleasereviewmypodcast.com/Business Inspires.
This is Business Inspires, a monthly podcast of the TriVillage Chamber Partnership. To run a successful business, you need resources, valuable connections, and community recognition. Business Inspires will provide you with the tools, resources, and examples to inspire you to create the business you're envisioning. Here's Michelle Wilson, Executive Director of the TriVillage Chamber Partnership.
Hi, this is Michelle Wilson. I'm the Executive Director with the TriVillage Chamber Partnership, and this morning I have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Bill Thompson, and Becky Thompson's here with us too, and they are with Grandview Dental Care. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us, Michelle.
So I typically start this podcast out asking when you were little what you wanted to be when you grew up. However, I read that you wanted to be a dentist because it was better than being a garbage man, which is what your first grade classmate wanted to be.
Well, that's right. In talking about being a dentist, when I was in first grade, it was more for the comic effect, I think, than because everybody else wanted to be firemen and policemen. And, as I grew up, then, my ambitions changed. I wanted to be a race car driver at one point and, airplane pilot. As I got into my later teenage years, then, I was working in a machine shop, that my neighbor had started. And I worked there off and on for 7 years during high school and college. Discovered I really like working with my hands and solving problems. And that's really what led me into dentistry then.
Great. So you've really wanted to truly have wanted to be that since you were a child, and here you are.
Here I am.
This is your 40th year with Grandview Dental Care.
November 28th will be the 40th year.
That's amazing.
The start of,
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's really amazing. And I grew up in the TriVillage area in Grandview, so I've seen, the iterations of Grandview Dental Care grow and just become bigger and better. So very happy for you.
A lot of the bigger and better is due to technology. The technology in dentistry, just like the technology in our whole world, has advanced incredibly. That when I was in dental school, we were doing silver amalgam fillings that they didn't even teach us how to do the enamel fillings in back teeth back then. Porcelain had just been introduced to make nice looking crowns. A sample of the outside world technology. The compact disc wasn't introduced until the year after. And I didn't have a cell phone for another 10 years after I started practice. So, I started back when, dentistry was still sort of in its infancy, compared to where we are now.
Absolutely. And I think, the first time I walked into Grandview Dental Care, I was really fascinated with the technology that you had, and it's even changed since then. But, coming from the dentist I used to see, it was a whole new world. And so I commend you for keeping up with that and making sure that your practice stayed on top of that and that you were really catering to the customer, the client, which I'm sure made your job easier as well.
Well, our focus is to do the best that is available for our patients. That and that goes all the way down through all of our staff. I have to say, our staff is the secret to our successes. That they are committed, they're dedicated, they all want to do the best possible care for all of our patients.
And they do. We have a great staff. And
I do. Yeah,
I think that speaks volumes
very
as
fortunate.
A top-down effect, really. I mean, clearly you've set that stage of what your expectations are, and they've been there a long time. Am I right? I mean, most of your staff has been there for a number of years.
We have staff that have been there for more than 20 years. We have newer staff the cool thing about staff, our staff anyway, each member is added one at a time, and they're trained, and we mostly want to impart to them the importance of, what we're doing for our patients, that, you do what's best for your patients. And, so a part of that too is keeping up with, technology, going to continuing education courses, and the technology today is, incredible in that, our x-ray technology, we have, three-dimensional x-rays that enable us to precisely place implants. We have a CAD/CAM machine that makes crowns from optical images. So basically, we take a picture of a tooth, design a crown, make it in the office, and the patient walks out with a new crown.
You make it in your office.
In the office, yeah.
Didn't that used to be a multi-day or week process
absolutely.
To send it out? And wow.
And it's done with optical images. We take a picture of the tooth, basically, and the computer works its magic, and we design the crown, and then the computer mills it, and we fire it in the porcelain furnace to put a nice glaze on it, and it looks like a brand new tooth.
Oh my goodness! And does it last as long as a
Sure. Yeah.
crown?
The materials that we have are just incredibly strong. In fact, one of the advertisements for one of the materials shows them pounding a crown into a 2x4 with a hammer. And not breaking it. So it's, and recent studies have shown that, teeth with crowns are twice as strong as natural teeth. So, when we do a crown, then it's like putting new enamel on the tooth. It's really, really amazing.
My goodness. Is that what a veneer is?
A veneer is like half a crown. It's the facing, and it's bonded to the front of the tooth.
Okay.
And veneers are great. We do veneers, mostly for cosmetic reasons. People with discolored teeth or seriously worn teeth, veneers are a great solution because we don't have to cut down the tooth quite as much as we do for a crown. And the veneers last just for decades. I mean, it's rare that I have to replace a veneer.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what besides technology are some of the major changes you've seen in 40 years of dentistry? Are you seeing that people are taking better care of their teeth in general, or because there's more education and options available? Or, I mean, I remember my childhood dentist, and I won't name that person because he made me afraid of going to the dentist. And he wasn't mean. He was kind, but it was a little bit archaic and painful. And so, I mean, have you noticed any changes just with, with clients, customers throughout the years?
Well, you asked if people are taking better care of their teeth.
Yes.
And I would say it's 50-50, that about 50% of the population goes to the dentist on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. The other 50% we might see on an emergency basis. Okay. But I would say all in all, our regular care patients, for the most part, look great. I mean, we have patients come in and they get their teeth cleaned. They look terrific. Maybe they've had some cosmetic dentistry done too, and that we're always proud of. And then we see patients who haven't been for many years, and they come in embarrassed and worried about how much dentistry they're going to need, and we take care of them too. It's dentistry is it's technology and it's problem solving for our patients, and sometimes it can be very challenging to solve some patients' problems, but Some of our patients, one of the procedures we do is all on four dentures, where a patient comes in, and if they have teeth that are truly unsalvageable, we take out the teeth and we put in implants, and we attach a denture to the implants. So they walk in with bad teeth and walk out with solid, nice-looking teeth. Same day.
Same day. And it's probably life-changing for so many of them.
It's absolutely life-changing. We had a patient maybe 6 months ago. He came in. He was obviously depressed. He had medical problems, liver failure, kidney problems. And I remember my staff member coming in to talk to me about the patient and saying, yeah, he's really down in the dumps and is really pretty unpleasant. And so I went in and talked to him. He came back. We did the all-on-4 procedure. When he came in 6 weeks later for a follow-up check, and same staff member came in and said, this is a different person. He's happy. Wow. He's smiling. It's just incredible that, yes, it changed his life. It absolutely changed his life.
And on the backside of that, what I find interesting is your staff member being in tune with the way the person walked in and that they were maybe unhappy or they were depressed. So do they receive any kind of training beyond their dental training, or is that just something that, do you guys offer any support or counseling?
The training we've done, we do the DISC, personality types.
Okay.
And in fact, we just talked about that last week with our annual meeting. We have monthly meetings and we talk about issues. We had a psychologist come in for several sessions 3 years ago, and just to talk about dynamics and communication. And so it's communication is everything,
Sure. I mean, I think that's key to giving really great service. Obviously, they know their dental skills and things that they need to look for and take care of, but to really be in tune with the person, I think speaks volumes for what you're doing for your staff and certainly for your patients. So.
It's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about some of your biggest challenges over the past 40 years in establishing a business or growing the business.
Oh, I think one of the biggest challenges was when we moved from across the street to our present location, 1220 Grandview Avenue. It was a Saturday morning. I had my son's football buddies come and help, and it was the middle of a blizzard. We were moving dental chairs across the street in 10 inches of snow.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I have to laugh when I look back on that, but it was comical. But the good thing about it was there was no traffic on Grandview Avenue. It was deserted.
Move that stuff right across the street. Those high school boys. That's great. And what are some of your favorite successes?
Oh, I think, the all-on-4 dentures, that's life-changing. But cosmetic work, veneers, crowns, when we have a patient come in and we do a cosmetic case for them, then it's life-changing as well. They go from being afraid to smile to really just beaming from ear to ear. It's really a lot of fun to see that change.
And so with the changes, what do you think you might do differently if you were starting a practice today?
Ooh, I think starting a practice today would be really, really frightening because with the advances in technology, the expense of starting a practice today would be just enormous. I'm fortunate in that over a period of 40 years, I've had 40 years to pay for it. And but starting out today, just purchasing all of the equipment that's really necessary to provide the best in dental care, the cost is really prohibitive. The other challenge is, I think, staffing, that it takes time to find the right people.
I really wanted to circle back to what you said kind of at the beginning when we were talking about what you wanted to do when you grew up, and you said fly a plane. Because you do fly a plane, am I right?
I do, yes.
And you built a plane?
I built the plane that I fly, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, back in the 1980s, I learned to fly. In the 1990s, I got my instrument rating. And then I started looking at airplanes. And really, the airplanes that are available on the market are kind of 1940s technology. And so I wanted something faster and more efficient. So I looked at what was available for kit-built, home-built airplanes, also called experimental airplanes. And I found an airplane design that I liked. It came in a kit form. It took almost 4 years to build it, but it's a very fast. We cruise at about 220 miles an hour on 10 gallons an hour. So it gets better gas mileage than my car does.
I would never have thought that.
Yeah, and we one of our favorite places is Hilton Head, and the Hilton Head is about 2 hours and 30 minutes away for us.
Oh my gosh, so much nicer than that 9-hour drive.
Oh yes. Well, if you're doing Hilton Head in 9 hours, you're really clipping along pretty well.
Okay, maybe it's not 9. But good for you. So you followed a couple of your dreams. That's.
Oh yeah.
And then, as you're hitting this 40-year mark, are you looking now to kind of phase into retirement, or do you know what you want to do in the next 2 to 5 years?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
So the plan is, I'm working half-time right now. I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and I love having a 4-day weekend. It's really, really, really nice. We do some traveling, so I take some vacation time. And that's really made my work life very nice, and pretty much my play life nice as well.
And was that planned, or did that just happen with the growth that you experienced? You're able to rely on your staff and. Yeah, we have 2 other excellent doctors in the practice, and so we are all able to take some leisure time and cover for each other. So that's made all the difference in the world. That's being able to take time off without closing the office or having staff members not report for work. That's it has really been pretty amazing. Yeah. Good. So you're
so
working
as far
half-time.
as retirement,
yeah,
that's a couple of years away.
Okay.
And what will I do when I retire? We're thinking maybe hop in an RV and go for a while.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see.
That would be really nice.
Yeah.
Be very nice. Good for you. And I wanted to touch also on. You said you like working with your hands. Becky told me a story at one point, which I thought was fascinating, that you needed to move a staircase in your building when you guys did some expansion, and you just said, I can do that. And you did it in a day. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah.
It would take me 6 weeks to figure out if I could do it, let alone move on it. So,
well, I did think about it for a while before I did it. So
like maybe a minute, you did it in a day.
I knew how it was going to go. But when we moved to our building in 1993, the contractor kind of made the staircase a little short, and it was a hazard. And so we finally decided, well, we can't have this hazardous staircase like this. So, just
probably
took some
a good
tools
workplace
over
safety move.
and just kind of redesigned things.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy when you doing work with your hands? Is there something specific you like to do on your downtime besides building airplanes and moving staircases? Do you do any woodworking or anything like that?
I do projects around the house, woodworking. We've redone the kitchen ourselves. In fact, there's not a room we haven't touched in our home. We have one of the old Grandview houses that was built back in 1903, and there's always something to do on these older houses. So I enjoy that. I have a classic 1962 wooden boat that that I refinished and did the mechanicals on, and I enjoy that. I have another boat that I may restore as well, and I still like working on the airplane. So those are the kinds of things. It's a thing of figuring out a project, problem solving, and getting it done.
Well, that's admirable, and it sounds like travel is really a big part of your downtime and the time when you're away from work.
Travel is a lot of fun. We really, really enjoy that.
Is there some place you haven't traveled to that's a dream of yours?
Absolutely. We have a trip planned to New Zealand coming up soon.
Oh,
so
good.
that's going to be quite an adventure. I'd like to see Alaska. And I'd like to see Tahiti.
Well, it sounds like you'll have time here in a couple of years.
We'll see.
So good for you.
Yeah.
How far away can your plane travel? You mentioned Hilton Head. Do you guys take it as often as possible, or?
Not as much as we used to.
Okay.
Becky's not as crazy about flying as I am. And, for me, flying is a form of relaxation for me. When I, lift off and the wheels fold up underneath the airplane, then I'm not thinking about anything else other than flying.
Well, good for you.
So, it may seem like, well, flying would be really stressful, but the thing about flying is that I'm not focused on anything else when I'm flying.
That's really interesting. I mean, what a nice stress reliever it sounds like for you.
Yeah.
I mean, the destination, I'm certain, is wonderful for all of you, but getting there sounds like it's enjoyable as well.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah.
And I don't want to leave Becky out of this entirely, because Becky really handles the marketing for the practice, but you're also really involved in making sure that Grandview Dental Care is present in the community. And I think that's, a big part of your success here in the TriVillage area, certainly the Grandview community.
I would agree.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to recognize the fact that you do that, and you're very conscientious about it and very consistent about making sure that you're supporting community causes.
Right, but I'm very behind the scenes at Grandview Dental Care. They don't want me, with the patients. I'm a little abrupt.
Nah, you do a great job, and you do a very good job of keeping Grandview Dental Care in the public eye. And,
thank you.
It's appreciate
fun.
That. Appreciate the support.
It's a great community.
It is.
Yeah, to do that. And there's a lot of small businesses, and it's fun to share and fun to promote other businesses. So
right. Fun to be a part of.
Yeah.
It's very vibrant, still small town feel, but so close to everything that, we're really lucky that we have this very tight-knit community, and you do such a nice job of keeping all of that in the forefront. So thank you. So where can we find Grandview Dental Care?
Grandview Dental Care, we are at 1220 Grandview Avenue, just one block north of 1st Avenue on Grandview Avenue.
How about some social media and website information, Becky?
GrandviewDentalCare.com. And we're very active on Facebook.
With contests, fun contests you guys do.
Yes. The last contest was me eating an Oreo right before I got my teeth cleaned. and everybody had to caption it. So the hygienist loved the fact that I just had Oreos, but she was a good sport.
You keep it fun, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, dentistry is not exactly exciting to market.
No, but it can be fun.
Yes.
You're definitely showing that on social media, so good for you.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
I hope everybody can pay you a visit, because it really is a unique experience there, and I think you guys do a great job on so many fronts. But I really appreciate you coming and talking with me today.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for subscribing, downloading, and listening to Business Inspires, a monthly podcast of the TriVillage Chamber Partnership. Our innovative and active chamber is successful because of our smart and engaged members who cultivate our strong business community. With more than 60 years as an integral part of the Grandview, Upper Arlington, and Marble Cliff communities, the TriVillage Chamber Partnership is dedicated to a single purpose: the success of the business community. You can find a link to our website in the podcast notes to learn more about the TriVillage Chamber Partnership. For information about this podcast, to schedule a guest appearance, or to find out more about sponsoring this podcast, our contact information is in the podcast notes. Make sure you rate and review our podcast on iTunes. That helps us spread the word about Business Inspires.
Circle270media.com